Alright, now let's look at this question. We'll first look at option A, SaaS. SaaS leaves infrastructure, platform and application management to provider while retaining control over data and users. Let's keep it because that's what is required. Option B says PaaS. PaaS requires management of application logic and data. This is not suitable when platform oversight is undesired. Incorrect. We'll move to option C. C says infrastructure as service, that is IaaS. IaaS demands full control over infrastructure components, which exceeds the this exceeds the stated management scope. Therefore, wrong answer. The lock option is SaaS as the correct choice. Let's bring the heat to the snow. This is all about onboarding Microsoft Sentinel. Option A says create a hunting query. Creating a hunting query requires ingested data to investigate threats which isn't available before onboarding. Incorrect. We'll move to option B. B says correlate alerts into incidents. Correlating alerts into incident depends on existing alerts, which can't be generated until data sources are connected. Wrong answer. We'll move to option C. C says connect to your security sources. Connecting to your security sources enables Microsoft Sentinel to ingest logs and telemetry, forming the basis for all analytics. Let's keep it. We'll move to option D. This is create a custom detection rule. Creating a custom detection rule requires active data flow to define detection logic, which comes after source connection. We'll delete this. We'll lock option C as the right answer. Okay, this question will test your concepts on endpoint data loss prevention, that is DLP. Option E says Windows 10 and newer only. Windows 10 and newer only excludes Mac OS, which now supports endpoint DLP capabilities. So that's why this is incorrect. Now in option B, if we look, Android is not supported for endpoint DLP enforcement. Incorrect. Option C says Windows 10 and newer and Mac OS only. So this looks good because both platforms support endpoint DLP enforcement. We'll keep it. We'll move to now option D. Option D again, if you look, contains Android, which is not supported endpoint DLP scope. B is out. Lock option C as the right answer. Okay, we have a multiple choice question. We need to select 3 correct answers. Option A says security questions. Security questions are not recognized as a valid second factor in Azure AD MFA. Incorrect. We'll move to option B. B says Microsoft Authenticator app. Authenticator app supports a secure verification method for MFA. Looks good because we all have experience like a Microsoft Authenticator app. This works as a multi-factor authentication, right? Looks good. Option C says SMS messages. SMS messages are accepted as second factor for MFA verification, like which mobile operators we receive via mobile operators. Looks good. We can keep this again. Option D says Windows Hello for Business. Windows Hello for Business is compliant with MFA when configured with key-based or certificate-based authentication. That being said, option B, C and D are the 3 correct answers. Alright, now let's look at this question. This is all about SIEM identity. Option A says an Azure AD user account. Azure AD user account is not designed for workload identity bindings across virtual machines. Incorrect. We'll move to option B. B says a user assigned managed entity. A user assigned managed entity can be shared across multiple virtual machines for consistent access control. We'll keep it. Now let's move to option C. C is a system assigned managed entity. A system assigned managed entity is bound to a single resource and cannot be reused across others. Wrong choice. We'll move to option D. DC is an Azure AD security group. Azure AD security group is used for access control grouping, not for assigning identities to resources. Wrong answer. We'll lock option B, user assigned manager entity, as the right answer. Alright, now this looks interesting because this is all about characteristics of a sensitivity label. Option A says encrypted. Encrypted refers to a protection action, not a core characteristic of the label itself. Incorrect. We'll move to option B. B says restricted to predefined categories. Restricted to predefined categories, labels can be customized beyond predefined categories. Wrong choice. We'll move to C. C says persistent. Persistent remains attached to content across locations and actions. That being said, persistent is the right answer. Alright, now let's look at this question. We need to ensure repeatability when creating new resources. So, this is a basic Azure question or the Azure fundamental question. Option A says Microsoft Sentinel. Microsoft Sentinel focuses on security information and event management, not a resource deployment. Incorrect. We'll move to B. B says Azure Policy. Azure Policy enforces rules and compliance but doesn't package and deploy repeatable resource templates. Rejected. We'll move to option C. C says Azure Batch. Azure Batch manages large scale compute jobs, not infrastructure provisioning. Wrong choice. We'll move to D. D says Azure Blueprints. Azure Blueprints enables consistent deployment of resource templates, policies, and RBAC across environments. That being said, Azure Blueprints is the right answer. Alrighty, now let's look at this question. Where this is all about overall security health. Option A says Secure Score. Secure Score offers a measurable indicator of the subscription security posture, helping teams assess and improve overall health. Let's keep this. We'll move to option B. B says Resource Health. Resource Health focuses on performance and availability, not security posture. Incorrect. We'll move to option C. C says Completed Controls. Completed Controls tracks implementation count but lacks holistic posture insight. Wrong choice. We'll move to D. D says the status of recommendations. The status of recommendations show remediation progress but doesn't quantify overall health. Wrong answer. The lock option is Secure Score as the right choice. Alright, now let's look at this question. This is all about assessing compliance. Option A says Azure Blueprints. Azure Blueprints is used for deploying compliant environments, not for assessing existing resource compliance. So, Blueprint is out. Now, let's move to option B. B says Anomaly Detector Service. Anomaly Detector Service focuses on data pattern analysis, as the name suggests. Anomaly means something out of the box or something exceptional, right? It is definitely Anomaly Detector Service is not used for governance or standard enforcement. Wrong answer. Let's move to option C. C says Sentinel. Microsoft Sentinel is designed for security monitoring, not policy based compliance. Incorrect. Option D says Azure Policy. Azure Policy evaluates a resource configuration and applies rules to enforce compliance across existing assets. Well, looks good. We'll lock this as the right answer. Alright, now let's look at this question. This is all about DDoS protection standard. Option A says 50. 50 understates the included protection limit defined by Azure DDoS protection standard. Incorrect. We'll move to B. B says 100. 100 matches the documented threshold for protected public IP resources before over coverage charges apply. Looks good. We can keep it. We'll move to now C. C says 500 and option D says 1000. So 500 and 1000 exceeds the included limit, which will incur extra cost beyond 100 resources, which we definitely don't want. So 500 and 1000 is too much and will cause billing, overbilling, I'll say, exceed. C and D are out. Will lock option be 100 as the right answer? So please, please, please don't go away. Let's meet the next part of this research, which got to be more and more interesting.